Good day to you, sir. My name is Denmark Sinutarte, 20 years old, from Baybay City, BS Mari 3 Alpha. First is I am going to read the questions for the midterm exam. How are the competing theories of creation and evolution going to be resolved in terms of the existence of the universe and supernatural beings? Which statement or philosophical principle will you apply to resolve these contradictory claims? Number 2. Briefly explain the existence of a maximally great being in terms of the following. A. Information in DNA. B. Fine-tuning of the universe. C. The existence of absolute moral values and duties. And D. Irreducible complexity. First questions appears to be a little complicated. At first, since we don't have enough resources to believe one of the opposing theories is correct. On the evolutionary side, Charles Darwin's Evolution of Species is a very well known from the 19th century, in which he asserts that the beginning of life stems from the natural processes and that life can emerge organically without any divine intervention. This idea led to the assumption of atheism, which many people accepted. However, using the modern science, his theory has been shown to be incorrect, as life cannot be generated naturally and amino acids cannot be produced from a mixture of gases by triggering lightning. On the creationism perspective, there is a lot of evidence that a supernatural being known as God exists. Even science was used as proof to determine that the truth about God's existence. Based on the past, up until to the present, evidence is found from several parts of life such as chemistry, biology, cosmology, and metaphysics. So, how could God not exist if there is so much reason to believe that He does? As I researched, investigated, and watched reliable movies on the internet, I came up to multiple conclusions that brought me closer to God. Even within ourselves, we discovered evidence that God exists. One of the pieces of evidence I will cover today is based on the teleological argument. This argument is often known as the design argument that holds the complexity and order observed in the universe point to the existence of an intelligent designer. It claims that natural processes cannot account or be liable for the lives for all life complexities. As stated earlier in the evolutionary side, and has been already proven wrong by modern science, that it is impossible for any life to emerge with only the cause of natural phenomenon. It cannot even produce the foundation of any life forms. So, how can we really answer this question to how did life even started? Well, it can be answered by the very thing that we, all humans, have. You know what is that? The DNA. The DNA, or the deoxyribonucleic acid. It is a complex molecule that contains all the genetic information needed to build and maintain an organism. Think of it as a blueprint for life. And based on my research, the human genome can store about 750 megabytes of data. Now, this is equivalent to the information of 400 books. Imagine that. So much information in a human DNA. And it contains approximately 3 billion of pairs, which, if we think, how could natural phenomena create something that contains so much information that even our human minds cannot comprehend? We cannot say that it could be a coincidence that natural phenomenon can bring or create life this complex. This statement would be a bold assumption without even a proper evidence to prove that there is no creator. So, this brings me to a conclusion that there is a creator with a vast amount of knowledge that we humans could not ever understand. That planned and created everything that is not a true not through natural phenomena and coincidence that could make such complex creations. And for now, I am going to answer the second question. The first is the information in the DNA. This information in the DNA comes from an intelligent mind or being. It was not placed there by chance, nor it was not placed there because it was passed down by our forefathers or our ancestors. This simply suggests that the information in our DNA originates from an intelligent mind or from a God, from the God. And next is the fine-tuning. The fine-tuning of the universe is this explains that the universe did not appear out of thin air, but it was already built in a specific position, gravity, and placement in the universe, that it is just right for creating and supporting the life before it was put in place. Of course, it didn't spring out of nowhere. It clearly and naturally came from an intellectual mind to plan all of this, which is God. And next is the existence of moral values, moral absolute values. My example is our conscience. Our conscience leads us to making decisions, whether they are positive or negative. If there is God, so why should we act ethically when we can do the opposite? It is because God gave us the freedom to believe in Him or not, and to obey Him or not. So this just means that there is a God. And lastly is the irreducible complexity. God is so intelligent that He created this principle in which if a part of a system disappears or has been damaged, it loses its function. This is applied to ourselves as the universe itself, where a small adjustment to the distance between the Earth and the Sun, or a small change in the gravity, can result in a catastrophic destruction to all of us, to all mankind. And that is the end of my answer, sir. Thank you for listening.